this channel is about the journey. It's about me trying things and failing, then trying again. That's the key. What's up guys, welcome to the video. So today we're going to go through mistakes. The mistakes I've made, the mistakes I've told you on this channel maybe. So it's 6 mistakes that hopefully I can tell you about that maybe you can avoid. So first mistake that I've made in recent times, all the way up till very recently, is ignoring trans fats and saturates. And I know if you're on certain diets you think that the fats don't matter, but it's not about the actual fat content or good fats, it's about these trans fats and things like that. And they're surprisingly in a lot of things you don't realise. One of the big things for me is you'll often see me on my cooking videos for convenience using things like microwave rice. Now here, these have them added trans fats in, and so they cook the way they do. So when you've got the option to use raw ingredients like proper rice, which I will be doing from now on, then that takes that out of the equation. And even it only being 1 gram, 2 grams sort of thing, and you're recording that on your macros on MyFitnessPal or whatever you're using, it will still be adding to things like your testosterone levels and your cortisol levels, which you want them down and you want your testosterone up to feel as good as you do. So ignoring them trans fats and them saturates can be a real big no-no, especially when it comes to trying to get the right balance in your life and trying to get you feeling the most energetic. The example I've given is rice, but there's also tinned hot dogs, anything like that. And you look at it, it's like quite a high meat content. I know it's mechanically recovered meat and things, but it's additives that they put in that might only seem minute when you look at the label, but you need to check what they are, and you need to be eating the good stuff. So I've gone off things like chicken legs and thighs, and I'm making sure that I'm on fresh cuts of chicken fillets, and trimming them bits of fat off there. That rolls us into mistake number 2, which is fad diets. Now there's been quite a few of these I've put on my videos in the past: carnivore, keto, there's Atkins as well, there's all sorts of fad diets. Now the biggest problem with these fad diets is they get results, right? So I mean, that you might think, well, what's the problem then? But when I was on keto, I dropped weight, and I really did. I dropped weight, the bits I was wanting to lose weight from, weight was dropping off, no problem. But at the same time, with my body being in a state of ketosis, I started to lose strength. And it got to the point where it was 50% loss in strength when it came to lifts, any sort of heavy lifting, anything like that. People say that runners are good on keto because your endurance is more, but I can't say that I noticed that. I do football training as well, and my energy levels were down as well, and it just wasn't a good balance. They may be a miracle for some people, and you'll see the documentary A Magic Pill on Netflix. I recommend you watch it, but you've got to bear in mind when you watch any of these documentaries like The Magic Pill, Game Changers, anything like that, it's always going to be a biased opinion from the creators. Don't just look at the end result, because you can go from this big to this big using a fad diet, but what you're doing to your insides, what you're doing to your actual testosterone levels, and the lack of the micronutrients that you might not be getting, I don't know, it depends how you do it. There's probably a really good way to moderate that, and if you eat a really clean keto diet, that might be the better thing for you, but you're still going to come across them fats and things that you don't want to be having. Number 3 is lazy tracking and logging, and even planning. So when I started out, I was weighing everything. Every little meal, everything was being weighed. I was recording everything on MyFitnessPal religiously. I mean, getting a can of Coke Zero from the fridge, even though I know the macros are tiny, almost negligible, I was logging it. As I started to gain more confidence in knowing what I was doing and knowing what I was eating, I stopped doing that. And I was just estimating, this is roughly the right portion, this is roughly the right portion, and it's a slippery slope because you either end up undereating, overeating, not hitting the right macros, etc. Your body's needing more of one thing than the other, and you're not listening to it, you're just going off with what you think you know. At one point I was tracking every single step using a Fitbit at the time. I've got the Fitbit reviews on this channel, and I stopped doing that because I was like, oh well, it was the disappointment of that. So I was hitting 8,000 at least every day, mostly up to 12, some days up to 20 odd thousand steps. But then I'd have a day off where I didn't train, I didn't need to go anywhere. The only thing I needed to do was drive somewhere, and I was hitting 1,000 steps. And it's the disappointment of that that stopped me tracking it in the end. And the fact of taking this watch off, making sure it's charged. When it died, it's like, oh no, it's not recording my steps. I also had a stepometer on my phone. They weren't syncing up. One was saying 13,000, one was saying 7,000. The same came with the gym routines. So when I started the gym routines, I took my book, the Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding. I took online advice from experts such as Jeff Cavalier at Athlean X, and Ankrum from Ankrum Fitness. I was looking at all these different people and how they were doing things, and I wrote down a plan of exactly what I'd do and how I'd do it. And I stuck to that to begin with. But then you get to the point where it's like, oh well, Wednesday's the leg day. I don't really feel like I've got a pump after the leg day, so I'll just do arms instead. I feel my arms are recovered from Monday, so I'll do them again. And it started to break that routine. And then I got to the point where I feel like I wasn't making progress, so I'd try something else, German volume training, which I did enjoy. But the point was the plan went out the window. Now the plan is key, we need to stick to the plan. If the plan's not working for you, that is where you spend a day, like I've done recently, and rewrite it. Go through it again. Sit there, stick something on Netflix or whatever, and just start writing through what you think you should do, what's going to be the best routine, what you need to work on. Number 4 is only doing exercise I feel that I'm good at. So I got a really good deadlift going on. So I started deadlifting more often than anything else. I took a liking to doing the bench press, and I got past my personal best with that, which is brilliant. But in place of that, I was negating other muscle sets and negating other training routines, and that's what knocked me off the plan. I mean, it's alright to know that you're good at doing a concentration curl, and you can see the progress every time you do it because there's a slight bit of growth and you're really looking at it. But if you're not doing your tricep dips or pull-ups or anything like that, that's when it starts to throw you off, and you end up just doing the things you're good at. And if the things you're good at are just shoulders, nobody wants just shoulders with no arms. You need to spread that out evenly and not just do the things you like. Mistake number 5 is not calorie counting. And I would even mock people for the calorie counting, saying, oh, I don't count calories, I just don't do this or I just don't do that. And then that's that same slippery slope of not logging food that you start going over, or even worse, going too far under. It's best to put your details into a calculator, check your BMI, things like that, and see what your level should be at to lose weight, maintain, or grow. Because at the end of the day, we can't break thermodynamics. It is fuel in versus fuel out. If I'm taking in 1,000 calories, but my day is taking up 1,500, I'm not just going to lose fat, I'm going to lose muscle mass, I'm going to lose my gains. So it's about getting that balance right, counting them calories, and make sure you're adding them up. Especially if you've got something like a cheat day that you want to come up where, or you're going to go for a drink with the boys. So my last mistake, and my biggest mistake to this date, is listening to naysayers, listening to critics, listening to people who have said, can't do it. Now, some might look at me now and look at me when I started and think, well, they're right, you can't do it, you've not done it. But I've never stopped trying. I've had breaks in between, I've had really bad weeks, months, I've had personal issues in my life that have all tried to hold me back. But I've never stopped trying, and I've never stopped changing it up, planning and wanting the same end goal. I have the vision that I want myself to look like, and I'm always going to be striving towards that. I don't expect it to happen in 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. I'm not taking a magic pill. I'm not thinking miracles will happen overnight. It can take 3 years, 4 years, 5 years to build the body you want. I wish I'd started a lot younger, because it probably would have been easier, but I'm still determined to do that. I want to emphasise this point more than any others, because it is the biggest stumbling block you'll come across. Whether you're like me and you just want to get rid of the dad bod and you're really struggling and you can't get rid of the shape that you're in, you can't get to the shape you want, push past that. Find new ways, research. That's all I'm doing at the moment, is research. What supplements to take, what's the best answers, what consistent exercises I should be doing. It's all about pushing forward through that. And the people that want to hold you back, you can either shed them or just take them at arm's length. Take them with a pinch of salt. Not including marriages, kids and relationships, we've got so many mistakes in our lives. But it's not about hitting them mistakes and just dropping it, finishing, ending. It's about motivating yourself to go forward. Whether that means you've got to go to a speaker like Tony Robbins, or whether it means you've got to sit there watching motivational videos by Arnold, by Will Smith. Some of the commencement speeches for colleges are absolutely superb. If whatever that takes to motivate you, do that. If you think, I've had a lazy day, can't be bothered, don't instantly write off that week. Get re-motivated. The reason for this channel is to keep me motivated, because I need to make content, and if I'm not eating healthy, if I'm not doing exercise, there's no content for me to put on the channel. I don't expect to ever hit more than 1,000 subscribers or anything like that, but I just want to look back on this channel one day and look at the video when I started and the videos towards the end and think, yes, I made that journey. And it's going to take a long time, and it's going to take a lot of fighting back. I hope that's helped. We might find in 10 months' time I do another video about mistakes, and the changes I've made now could be the mistakes. But that's the whole point of this. The point of this is not for you to look at some ripped guy thinking I want to look like him. There's loads of channels like that out there. There's absolutely loads. There's several linked on my channel on the right hand side. I recommend all of them guys to go and look at if you want the physique they've got. That is my target. That's why I've stuck them on there. But this channel is about the journey. It's about me trying things and failing, then trying again. That's the key. It's about trying again each time. You get knocked down by people, by fad diets, by injury. All of these things can knock you back, and so much more. But it's about picking yourself up and going again. I hope that's any sort of help. Thanks for watching the video. Hit a like. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It all helps, and it all helps to motivate me and hopefully motivate you. See you again soon. Bye.